right. We give y'all all praise and all his glory, all his honor. We give him thanks. We praise him today as he comes into our midst. We glorify him. We are thanking him for this. Shabbat Shalom, Sister Deborah Willard. All praises to you.
Shabbat shalom, Sister
We
Brenda.
give him glory, praise, and his honor that belong to him. So we thank Yah for a precious day. And not only to this precious day, we wake up and we know that it's precious. But many times we woke up, we actually woke up and we went about our daily business. Saturday was a day for shopping and cleaning and doing going out and doing, the weddings and everything was on Saturday. We didn't know that. We didn't understand that. We didn't have no clue that we were violating the things of the Most High. We give him glory and praise for his divine knowledge and understanding. So we thank him. Because he could left us in our ignorance, but he did not. So we come to give him praise and honor today. We come to worship him. And we do believe that the Father uh, is pleased with us coming back and knowing and understanding these things. We don't have it all together, and we say that all the time. We're not saying that we got it together. We all are learning this thing. We have been doing what we have been doing for a lifetime, and it takes some things, some spiritual changing, prayer, seeking the Most High, and for His divine truth. And a lot of time we will read that scripture say you need no man to teach you. He said, "I will teach you." That's what His words say. I will teach you. So we give Him glory, praise, and honor today for this for coming into this atmosphere with praise and with worship and with honor. I'm gonna have to go get my phone. I forgot about it, y'all saints. But we give y'all all His glory, His praise, and His honor. We thank Him for what He's doing. So all praises to the Most High Elohim for what's such a glorious day. It's a glorious time and a glorious atmosphere to come together and to break bread with our brethren and our sisters on the Shabbat. And for those that will be viewing later, we have more people go by and view these uh these videos later. We might have 4 or 5 up here, 6 at the most, or maybe 7 sometimes. But then we got those that come back after it's over and look. But all praises to the Most High. Because we here just to put out the word of Yah, and he's the one that develops the audience for those people that will need to hear. Here's
Block.
look at this dog.
Yeah, you
See here,
see.
we give Yah all the praise and all the glory. We thank and we praise Him. Hallelujah. We thank and we give Him glory and honor. They don't have nothing else to do, saints. I pray y'all will take care of them and like I blocked them, let Him be blocked out of the earth. They come against the word of the Most High. He is a dog. We give y'all all the glory and praise. Let Him get what coming to Him. For we here for righteousness' sake. We thank and we praise and we glorify. We are aware of the things, and you'll be aware of the enemy, because all we're going to show up. So we thank and we praise Yah. We give him glory. We thank him and we glorify his name. We're going to get ready to get in the word. We already know the series that we're in. We're still in this series. The strongman game is to delete your name totally out of the earth, actually. And we in a series. We got different topics that under this umbrella of the strong man, because that's what the devil himself and his agent, because that's one his agent that will come out against the knowledge and the understanding of Yah. See, they have no fear. That's why we should have no fear of sending the spirit of Yah after them. Let him deal with them. So, and he will. See, they don't think he will, but he will. He'll start dealing with them and their family. Hallelujah. Things start breaking down and people dying all around them. They'll think twice, but he'll let them see that first and take care of them. So we give Yah all his praise and his glory. That's why he say he'll fight for us. We don't have to fight in this war. Turn them over to the Most High Elohim. Let him deal with that. So we give him glory, praise, and honor today. We are well his glory, his praise, and his honor, his strength, and his power through the knowledge and understanding of his word. So, Abba Yah, we thank you today for bringing us to this point of reference, of understanding, to come into you and come into sup with you on this blessed holy day. Coming together, lifting up your name in your word and prayer and admonishment. Father, so we thank you. We ask you now for everyone that come by this broadcast, Father, that you will bless whatever their needs are, Father. Whatever their hindrances are, we ask now that you remove the hindrances. We ask, Father, that you would send out a spirit of healing. Just because of their obedience to hear your word. Not to hear me, but to hear your words as you give us what to do. And we thank you, Father. In the mighty name of Yahushua HaMashiach. So be it. Let it be done. It is. Say it is so. Hallelujah. We thank and we praise and we getting ready now to get into our open up here. Just keep your eyes on now, because that devil, he won't stop. We don't care. That's and he should know by now that don't stop anything. It don't stop one thing. We continue to go on. We will continue to move on. That's not going to stop anything. It will not stop anything. So we are going on in the things of the Most High, because He will bless and He will take down our enemy. Yes, hallelujah. Because that's an enemy. When you're enemy, listen, when you walk in the newness of the Most High Elohim, these people think they're coming out against you. They're not coming out against you. They see they come. They think because they see us.
Yeah.
But you better listen to what Elijah told his servant. Honey, it's more for us than against us. We got we have an army around us, a spiritual army, ready to pounce upon those enemies that come out against the peoples of Yah. They better take heed, because this world is acting up and the rivers are drying. Why do you think that is? See, ignorance is going to kill a lot of them.
That's right.
Because they won't leave the peoples of Yah alone. They're going to suffer greatly because of their ignorance. And they think they're getting over. They think they're saying something smart and doing things. They think it's a joke. But I leave them in the hands of the Most High, who can really take care of them.
And you will.
Take care. My hands don't have any blood on it. So you turn it over to the Most High, let Him deal with it. But when you walk earnestly before Yah and you want to keep His divine word, and you want to live in truth, you don't have nothing else to worry about. You are covered under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. So we're not surprised that the enemy show up and show up with his filth. That's where they mind at. Trashy mind. I pray that he won't ever be able to have sex again.
Jesus.
Amen. Take it, stand in agreement.
So let the Father deal with him while he put
Yes.
out that filth. Give him all glory and praise. So now we will get ready. Just to remind everyone, I'm going back. I always go back to our point of reference for those that reviewing for the first time. I know that you have that one has been following us. You very well what we are doing, but we got so many out there that do not know, and we got and they might think that's the same uh, program that they're seeing. It's the same subject, but it's various program uh, under that subject, and it's many tactics that the enemy use against the peoples of the Most High. We got to understand what that's all about, and we got to understand that it comes in different forms, and they not only one spirit. These spirits they cohabit together. They come together against you. You got to understand they have partnership with other spirits to come out against you. And when we understand that, when we understand that we are in a spiritual warfare, we first of all we begin to see things differently, and we will begin to pray differently, and we begin to study the word differently when we realize that we are in a spiritual war. The enemy is not playing with us, and trust me, I ain't playing with the enemy either. So I send the angels of the Most High after them, let them deal with them, because they will. If you live upright with the word of Yah as your compass, and everything that you do, you are protected under him.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that in assurance. You ain't got to hope nothing. You just do that in assurance
Mm-hmm.
because you belong to Yahushua HaMashiach. He said in his word that we are his what? Inheritance. The Father said he given us to him for an inheritance because of his sacrifice. He deserved to have us as his heritage. And we deserve to give him glory and praise and honor for his love and his kindness towards us as a people. So I'm going to start sharing, and we're going to hear some high points of where we are, and then we'll move on from there and really get into our lesson today. Oh, I must have hit it. Yeah, there it is. Now I want to say this too. I'm going to be speaking on this week, uh, probably Wednesday night, in reference to uh, this upcoming Thanksgiving. What is Thanksgiving according to the word of Yah? Until what we have been given. What's the difference? So I will be doing. I've been torn between Thursday and Wednesday. So I think I'm going to probably come in. I'm going to more likely come that Wednesday in reference to that. And so if you don't, I put it like if you don't see me Wednesday evening, put up anything, it will definitely be on Thursday. So I leave it as that. So you have at least an understanding what we may be doing. But we give y'all all the praise because we need to know. People need to. We need to say. We need to speak out against these things when we know they are lies and there's not of y'all. He did not command that, and the deception behind the whole thing. We need to say it. We need to speak truth about whatever it is that being promoted to people, to all peoples. You know, some people's not coming out gonna be mad because they don't want to hear that. But that's between them and their Abba Yah. I don't have anything to do with it. Okay, as you can see, we this segment that we're teaching on now. Right now, what I'm going through is what we call the lying spirits, and under the umbrella of lying spirit, the manifestation of the lying spirit is a spirit of strong deception, spirit of flattery, a spirit of superstition, a religious spirit where we are right now. And our next episode will be false prophecy, accusation, slander, gossip, lies, and false teachers. So this under this umbrella we had 12 things that umbrella under that lying spirit. We just say lie, but we got to recognize the lies. We got to recognize it. It was we deception. A lot of times we recognize that. Sometimes people don't know they're being deceived. They don't know they're being manipulated. I don't know why manipulation went up there, but that falls under deception and flattery and superstition. And now we're doing, and it's going to be the last day. Like I said, it's so much to teach on this religious bondage, but we can put a false prophecy. We probably going to be cross referenced back to some of the false prophecy, and we know right now that we are dealing with a lot of false prophecy. We're dealing with a lot of people that's dealing now. Not they're listening at a whole lot of things, and they're not able to discern these liars. But if you have an ear to hear, I pray that the Father will give you an ear to hear what the Spirit is saying to the church. What is the Spirit saying to your building when you listen? What is the Spirit saying when someone's speaking to you? Is it lining up? See, that's why it's so important for us to know the word of Yah. Because when we hear that stuff, we all right there and there, the Spirit say there's a lie, not truth. I didn't say that. That's not in my word. Or you can see they can use the word. See what the enemy does. He used a lot of the word, the truth. But your ears got to be open to see the and hear the deception that he slides in there. Because he always gonna put some stuff in there. And if you don't know, he always gonna try to talk fast and slide some things in. And if you don't know and you don't understand, you'll be deceived with that. So I give y'all all the glory. At this point right now, it's dangerous. Especially that y'all people are waking up the way they are. All of a sudden, all these people they want to bring you word talking about what y'all say. Y'all speak to his own people. He's speaking now. That's why they turned it back. He said he will turn back his people to him, and then he will cause them to know who they are. And not only who they are, but what their responsibility. See, that's what nobody's talking about. What their responsibility is as being his chosen people. We still got a job to do, saints. Our job still waiting on us. Just because you failed and you just woke up and your full parent, now you got to get up and pick up the torch. And you got to be able to carry this word just like Yah has said. And so we can't get out of that. We are his chosen. And we were chosen to take this message to all nations and to teach all nations. He said, teach it in season and out of season. Teach it when they want to hear it. Teach it when they don't want to hear it. We don't have no. Don't take it personal because somebody rejects you. Don't take it personal. Because they're not, just like he told Moses, they're not rejecting you, Moses. I'm the one gave you the word to give to them. They rejected me. And y'all take it personal. He honestly takes it personal when we reject him. when he have sent his word for life for us, to bring us into his bosom. He always, if the word is not leading you to follow Yah, if somebody teaching you the whole message is about who you are, you're Israelite, and it never say what you need to do, how to become clean, how to get your soul in order, and start turning back to the laws and commandments that everybody keeps saying done away with. That is not the one you listen to, saints. Because the true word of the true teacher that Yah has called, they're going to lead you always to the word. They're going to always tell you what the word says. They're going to always give you scripture that will free your soul. To cause you to now to know who you are. You're not a Gentile for one. And that Gentile stuff came from during the Maccabees when the people, when Antiochus stood up and said, we all be one people. And many of our people went down in that region with Antiochus, which now is it was during the Greek time. I think it was Greek or whatever. But that's where that started. That's where a lot of our people went. And a lot of people keep saying that they say Gentile, but what they don't understand is that at that point, those Gentiles were our people. They still were Israel that went down with Antiochus because they didn't want you always going to have some bailout, because they didn't want the hardship. They didn't want to do what the Maccabees done. They wanted served up on a silver platter and just sold itself out to other religion. That's why when all these people came, see, we need to learn how to put these things together. When the day of Pentecost had fully come, and when the Ruach fell upon the 120 that was up in the upper room, and they began to speak with unknown tongue. And when they went out, and Peter went out, and he began to speak to them, and they began, the Spirit fell upon them. They was not strangers. They was those Israelites. See, that will tell you right there. The heathen, when they came to that time, come to the temple during that time, they wouldn't come together there. They still will come together, but they went back into the other countries. Then you would be in the other countries so much, you learn how to speak the language. And people think you actually is a native of that place, but you're really not a native. Like we speak English where we are. We're a prime example. We was hauled off to this country, our foreparents, and we are what? The offspring of them. We don't even know our language, so now we speak what? The language of the country. They had to beat it in them because they didn't know the language. They didn't understand the language. That's why all that, when you can listen at the older folks, their language is broken language because it wasn't our language.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to during that day of Pentecost. They still was Israel. And when they showed up, the Ruach fell upon them as Peter began to speak. We're not drunk as you suppose, seeing that it's only 3 o'clock in the day. And he began to tell me it was the Ruach. And he said, when after the word speaks for itself, after he had spoken to them, 3,000 souls came back to the Most High at that time. Began to know who they were and came back to their Father. Because they had gone off into other countries, and they was known as Gentiles because they was not of those people. They were not of the country that they was in. Just like we ain't in this country either, but we are not a Gentile. We are Israel. So let's get into the word today. So get back into the word of religious bondages.
Shabbat
This one
shalom, Mother
getting some
Judy.
highlights. Shabbat shalom, Mother Judy. Okay, all praises to you. So let's get in. We're gonna talk about 8 types of bondages today, and I put that out there. Even though I do have, that in PDF, but I open that up instead in case I want to make it big enough so we can see it. Okay, yes. All right. We're talking about the 8 types of bondages on the spiritual path. These are bondages. You wouldn't think they would be bondages, but they're bondages. This coming from an Indian guy that wrote this. His name is Vashti Tachi. Vash, 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 Vashita Chi, Indian name. And he starts off and he says something very unique. He say pride of family superiority. And when I looked that up, when I kind of went into that just to get some kind of more understanding, because we know what pride is and we know what superiority is. But it's amazing that he put this together. And I went to look for, just looking what I could find. And I guess this comes up. Now this was way before when we was babies and wasn't even really born. This what comes up, pride of the family. The pride of the family is that back in the 50s was a 30-minute American television situation comedy that was broadcast on ABC from October the 2nd, 1953 until September the 24th. That's before we was born. Isn't that amazing? He said CBS showed reruns of the program in prime time in the summer of 1955. Baby, know nothing about it. But in their mind, this is what you call the pride of the family, as though they were only a group of people that were pride. But they had this, they was appealing to themselves during that time and even now. Is something wrong with that, y'all? Is it something wrong with it?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with you in pride of your family. But when you think you superior,
That's the problem.
issue.
Yeah, it
That's
does.
the problem. When you think you are superior.
That's right.
That's where God take note. And that's what gets us all in trouble with the Most High Elohim. Because the only superior people that he created, if you want to talk about superiority, the people he created to be his own. It is amazing they've taken all the words that Yah had put on his own creation. And when he say that, that's not for us even to what you call puffed up. You're not to be puffed up when Yah does something in your life. And you come to a place of understanding. You're not to be puffed up when Yah begin to teach and open eyes of understanding. You don't be puffed up till you have the pride of the family. And everybody should have, thank Yah for their family. I don't care who it is, black, white, green, or gray. It does not matter. You should be thank y'all for your family. But when we get to that point of superiority, that's when they become an issue. He said the pride of the family. Let's get down. Let's get some more detail on that. It was by a it's really they produced this film, like I said, started back in
1953.
1953. Ran the reruns back in 1955. So it ran a pretty long time, and that was to indoctrinate the people. Because black folks ain't had no TV during that time anyway. If you went to somebody had a TV, boy, you thought they was rich. I remember the first time I saw TV, and I remember today to right now what we saw on that TV. When we first moved into the Manor Heights, we didn't have no TV. We were down there with Miss Henderson, Lena Mama. She had a TV and she invited us to come in, and we watched King Kong.
Yep.
That was the first movie I ever had seen on the black and white film, because there wasn't no such thing as color.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know that was supposed to be depicting us, the big black apes.
Correct.
Then he said 39 episodes were filmed in black and white with a laugh track. Sponsors included buffering, pain relievers. These were the sponsors. A pan of toothpaste and Dial soap and shampoo. They didn't want to sponsor that movie. After all, they say we didn't use soap and we didn't use toothpaste and we didn't use these things. And they're about right, because we made the soap ourselves. We used baking soda for our teeth. And for pain reliever, we went out in the field and find what we could, what they knew. So it wasn't appealing to us during that time at all. Even though you had some people that some of our people was, they was privy to it, always have been. But when we get to the point, because I'm not going to stay here long because we got ways to go. But it tells us about this mindset has been in the lives and the thoughts of people for a long time. Way before the 50s, way before the 30s, way before the 20s, way before the 1900s, the 1600s. It's been there a long time. And it let us know that this spirit, it doesn't die. It moves from one generation to the next. It's amazing to me how things pass down from one generation to the other. It's almost sometimes you don't even know who you are, your people. You never saw your father, your mother, but you still take on the same traits. Because what it says to me that is in the bloodline. It's a cultural thing. And you don't know why you do what you do, say what you say, react the way you react. It's down culturally, and it's also in a bloodline. And one spirit passed on to one generation, because we got to understand when you're dealing with these kind of things, it's not just a generational thing, it's a generational spirit has now been given right to transfer from one generation to another generation, until somebody in that place, y'all open the eyes of his people, And they began to break the generational curse and the generation demonic forces that they see plaguing their people all the time. If your daddy died, your great grandfather died of heart attack, your granddaddy died of a heart attack, your daddy died of a heart attack, something you gotta ask, why is this generational curse? What is this? Why is everybody dying of heart attack before they're 40 and 50 years old? Why are your mother an alcoholic? Why? Where did this spirit come from? Because you see a spirit have claimed have stayed claim to a family. Every family got one. That's why we have to learn to break the generational curse. Because somewhere down in the bloodline, they sold themselves out. And until we open our eyes of understanding, we would not know. We would not know. We would not know and understand why every man in the family end up in prison. Or every woman with children in the family end up a single mother. Oh, we got to understand this stuff. And we have been plagued with these things for far too long and don't understand what's happening to us as a people. Why your daughter always want to abort your grandchildren? You praying for grandchildren, they in that spirit. They somebody down the line made a deal with Baal, Moloch, to give their babies to Moloch for a sacrifice. You got to ask where that spirit come from. Why in anybody right mind would want to take the seed that's in their belly? A life. You already know it's a life. It's a life when y'all say it's a life. When you conceive, immediately start to develop. There ain't no piece of germ in the lab in some kind of dish. We got to understand what's happening to us, and I'm gonna keep saying it, and why things keep happening to us as a people and as a nation. We got to understand that the enemy of our soul don't care about you. All he want to do is keep you ignorant to the fact you got to keep dealing with what's happening in your family. And you're talking about it, but it never registered. As they ask the question, why do this keep happening? Why do all our men die? Why I keep losing? Every time I put my hand, look like I'm prospering, all of a sudden everything goes topsy-turvy and I lose all my investment. Why? He said, we got to understand these things, because when you don't understand what's happening around us, we are victim. We fall victim to the enemy. And that's what he like. He like to keep you ignorant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He like to keep you in a place that you have no understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Keep you at that place of what the word says, spiritually in bondage.
Mm-hmm.
And many people don't understand this. You don't understand when I look over my own family and I look at the writers living in love. I go way back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that spirit just didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
Am I get celebrated? No. I love it. I love it how people come together and celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to the point where that's all you do, you live for the weekend, there's something wrong with that. Oh, we got to understand. This thing's so deep and so dark. It take the Ruach to show us through the darkness and the dimness of this thing, because we call it fun. That's what they call fun. When you look at it, it's the Father says destruction. You destroying yourself. So we got to understand what the enemy is doing. So we're going to get into superiority. I hope I can get through this today. He said we're going to look at superiority versus pride. Oh, we give him glory. He said under superiority, he said it is a state of being superior. I call a legend in your own mind. Many colleges want to achieve football superiority. In other words, is another definition for that. Superiority really give one to think that they're better than the other. They are more important than the other person. That's why in the antonym for that, inferiority. If one think they want to be superior over you to make you feel what? Inferior. You either gonna have the sense of superiority, and when you got that kind of spirit on you wreak havoc on somebody else to make them feel inferiority. We got to understand the devil has a plan. The Strongman'S game is to delete your name. I could have said kill you, but I didn't. I just wanted to delete. It's to delete your name out of the earth. We got to understand that he uses everything that he can to come out against you. And we walk around here happy-go-lucky. And not knowing how to fight, not knowing how to present ourselves before the Most High Elohim. First of all, we got to be living the life. But sometimes we're just not living the life. And we cause these things, and the enemy take advantage of that.
Yes, they will.
He take that you are open. That's an open field for him to play in. Unobstructed, he uses. See, they try to clean up here talking about a ball game. No, we ain't talking about no ball game. We talking about some stuff that's going on. We talking about some things that we got to uncover. Father, I pray that your people will remember these things. And then we can get over here and saying pride. Where is pride? It's a noun. Well, that can be used with a person, place, or a thing. But it's more used in the person. He said the quality or state of being proud, inordinate self-esteem, and unreasonable, listen what he said, an unreasonable conceit of one's own superiority in talents. A legend in their own mind, I keep telling you. In their own, superiority in their talents, their beauty. Can't tell them they're the best looking person. In their wealth, oh, I got all the wealth in the world. And their rank. Where I sit, you can't sit over here because you don't have what I have. He said, which manifests itself in lofty airs. Yes, it does. In distance and reserve. And often contempt of others. Don't want to be done. Well, I'm not doing nothing with. Oh, why are you having friends with her? She is nothing. She's not equal to you. Why you want to do it? Have anything to do with her or him? I know you're not dating him, girl. You too good for him. Here you got a man will treat you right and love you, and you let your prideful friends talk you out of happiness because he don't have what you have, or she don't have what the one that you were dating.
Yes.
He says, sense of one's own worth and an abhorrence of what is beneath or unworthy. And that word abhor, that means hate. Hating of what is beneath or unworthy of one. I just got through saying it. He's not worthy of you. Child, he's just a girl, please, he's just a carpenter. That's why he just build houses. You dummy, you wouldn't have one if he wasn't the one who wouldn't build a builder. Girl, you got all them degrees and you dating him. He don't even have no degree, and he says sense of one's own worth and abhorrence of what is beneath, are unworthy of one, lofty, self-respect, noble self-esteem, his elevation of character. They pump their own self up. I'll make my own self great.
Right.
I don't care who I got to step on, who I got to put down or manipulate. I'm gonna make my own self great. He says, and it's a dignified bearing. Oh, don't get, and don't they use that term, the dignitaries?
Yes, they
Now,
do.
I don't want to go there. Those are dignitaries because they done puffed themselves and the world don't let them puff themselves up. You only thing between you and somebody else, you might have some money, they don't, and that don't make you nothing. But just somebody got some money can buy a little bit more. And that I'm telling you, and somebody was talking about this. I told the guy, there was one of the employees, and he was talking about. I said, "Listen, there's nothing wrong." I said, "Money just show a person who they really are."
That's right.
I said, "Always was that. That money just revealed."
That's so true.
Cause something wrong, you think money gonna make you? You can have all the money in the world, they still count you as nothing.
That's true.
He said, proud delight. He said, in a good sense, he took pride in his work. He had pride of ownership in his department. Oh, that's a good part of pride. That's a good part of pride when you say when your son or your daughter doing things. You say, I'm really proud of you.
Yes.
I see you struggling. I see you doing good. You are not giving up, and you encouraging them, giving them a hand up. They keep going.
Yes.
But when you get to the point where you so proud and puffed up that you hate to be around the little man.
Something wrong with
They
that.
so called that. That's their terminology. Y'all like for the cause us little nothing. Go ahead on, because he already know who his peoples are.
Yes, he does.
That's why you think they keep our name and on the negative so much in the news.
That's right. So true.
They wouldn't even have a darn TV. They couldn't put nothing on there about us.
That's so true. You ain't lying about that.
How you think they get the ratings? They got to put us on there.
Yeah. Up front and center. Oh,
He
yeah.
said, people which takes no pride in the noble achievement of remote ancestors, will never achieve anything worthy to be remembered with pride by remote descendants. Well, I don't have a problem with you remember your ancestors, but y'all destroyed ours own.
Yes, they did.
You can so why is you so you want to remember yours was they slave now you that's why you so prideful because you spending the money that our parents built on your with their back being what split over with a whip. That you're pride, full of pride and look down on the ones. But that's so that listen, that's why we need to rejoice because we could be up there prideful like that too.
That's true. Thank you, Father, for being humble.
He says, the pride of the peacock is the glory of Yah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he stand off and he show you what Yah has done, how beautiful he is. He shows you just how glorious he was made. Mm-hmm. He's a pride of it, pride or disdainful behavior or treatment, insolence or arrogance of demeanor, haughty, bearing and conduct, insolent, exultation, and disdainment, hubris. These are things that y'all hate.
Yes.
You know he don't like though. He said haughty come. That's another word for pride. Haughty. That's what he said about the daughter of Zion. That they are haughty.
Yes. Yes.
Walking with a missing. That in other words, that missing mean they twisted.
Mm-hmm.
With their ankle braces making noise.
Right.
Clacking with their heels and twisted.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we see today. Halted, bearing, and conduct. You see all that. Their conduct and the way they act is horrendous.
Devil's back. Block it.
You don't have nothing else to do, saints.
Not a thing. You get a life. A real one.
I'm trying to find out why is that not. I'm telling you. He letting us know today.
Yes.
He's not gonna put up with this. But this is the kind of spirit that we see. That's in operation, saints. Say proud. You know what they used to say? The old folks, she was proud as a peacock.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they did.
Yes, our parents used to say that. Look at her. She's proud as a peacock.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can touch it, full and haughty, all lifted up. Is insolent. He said, pride goes before what? The fall.
Yep.
That of which one is proud, that which excites boasting or self-gratulation, the occasion or ground of self-esteem, or of arrogant and presumptuous confidence. Oh, child, I know I'm gonna do it. I know what they're gonna do for me. I know I don't need it because I'm rich. I know they're gonna let me. I know it all. So you just presuming you gonna because you think you are a dignitary, you think things gonna go well with you. Is that slut back in there again?
No.
He says, that of which one is proud, that which excites boasting. Listen to him. He said, pride go before the fall. Because see, y'all leave you in your proudness He'll lead you and let you stay there in your mess until he take you down. And when he take you down, he take him down hard.
Yes, he
He said,
does.
that of which one is pride, that which excites boasting, or self-gratulation. He said that the occasion of the ground of self-esteem or of arrogant and presumptuous, and that's a sin. Confidence as beauty, ornament, noble character, children, etc. He said, lofty trees clad with summer bride. He said, I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. This will come out of Zechariah 6. I will cut them off. Y'all will take them out. He can't stand a haughty look. Because it's not of him. And he sure don't want to name them among his people. Oh, I think I went too far. I heard somebody come in. Somebody came in. Oh, in you. All praise to you.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, family.
All right. He said to be in the pride of. Oh, let me go back. He said, I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. But that's what how y'all look at us when we acting like them. He said, a bold peasantry, their country's pride. The small European lamprey species show ostentation glory. And this is what Shakespeare said. Pride, pomp, and circumstance of glorious war. Highest pitch, elevation, reach, loftiness, prime, glory. To be in the pride of one's life. Y'all don't think to get pride for that. Because your life can be cut off in an instant. He said, fathom, towering in his pride of place, consciousness of power, fullness of animal spirit, metal and wantonness. This was happening with somebody in pride. You can never get enough. Isn't that something we didn't equate that with pride? He said, consciousness of power, fullness of animal spirit. Oh my goodness. Animal spirit. Metal. Wantonness. Lust. Sexual desire. All falling under the spirit of pride. Especially excitement of sexual appetite, a beast. Oh my goodness. You heard it say? Lust, sexual desire, especially excitement of sexual appetite in a female beast. A company of lions. See, they want to use the word. They call that a pride. Synonym for lamprey species, pride, a sandpiper. The derived term, the point of pride, pride comes before a fall, prideful. And the verb sense is to take or experience pride in something she is proud of. I pride myself on being a good judge of character. Ain't nothing wrong. See, there's good parts, there are good things to be prideful of, and there's some harder things that y'all do not like. He said, but pride go before the fall, and I am not a good judge of my own character. So I am often wrong without knowing it. Isn't that something? He said, I'm often wrong without knowing it. That's why we ask y'all to help us and give us understanding. Oh, I'm going to come back in. Because one thing what we don't understand is this. Y'all know what's going on with us. He know that we got a haughty heart. Let's get over here to our next one. So we're talking about superiority. When you think that you better than somebody, you think that you got it going on and the little man don't. You get puffed up in your pride and you think y'all's not going to deal with it. You think you done arrived. My prayer is the higher you go up, any of us go up, the lower we go down. Y'all look for a humble spirit. And that's why a lot of our people, I don't think they're being blessed because of them. He know the minute he bless them, they're going to be out there making it rain.
You know it.
If they making it rain with a little bit, don't you know they're going to do worse when they get a lot?
Create a tsunami.
Yes, you're right. That's a good one. So let's get to our next one here. While you read that verse that we was talking about reading earlier.
Proverbs 11 and 14 says,
Yes.
where no counsel is, the people fall. But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety.
Somebody need to tell you the truth.
Yes, they do.
Somebody need to speak the divine truth to some of our people. And speak it to the world. Because some of these people out in the world, they would do better if they understood better. A lot of them going to astray because they don't know any better. They following the crowd. And that's what that word says. I think let me see what it says. Let me see. I got it over here. Let me get this scripture.
Say where no counsel. Where no counsel is, the people fall. But in the multitude of their counsel, there is safety.
Okay.
So you go to 2011 and 14.
No, I want you to read Proverbs 25, 26. That's what I want to.
Okay, I'm going to that. I'm going to that anyway. Hold on, give me a second.
And then we'll move to our next segment.
25 and 26. Pick it up. And here, okay, 26 said, a righteous man falling down before the wicked is as a troubled fountain and a corrupt spring.
This is how they got this race. Say like a muddy spring, or a polluted fountain is a righteous man who gives way before the wicked. You can't hold up. You give it up. Your righteousness when you get before some wicked people. You know how people we call them sellouts.
Mm-hmm.
They won't stand upon the word when they get in the midst of a wicked people. He said, like a muddied spring or a polluted fountain is a righteous man who gives way, who will not stand up before the wicked. That's how y'all view them. If you say you for me, I don't care who you stand for righteousness. We want to take down. No, that's the time to be proud of who you are. Trying to make you feel inferior, and they be what? Being superior.
Mm-hmm.
But if we are righteous, we are to stand for right. I don't care who we stand before. That's why we have to expect the Father give us the strength to stand. He expects us to stand for righteousness. He don't care where we are. We are to stand before him at all time in righteousness. Back up, he said, where there is no guidance, a people falls. But in abundance of counselors, there is safety. You get around somebody that's going to hold you up and hold you accountable. Because that's what counsel is. It ain't always what brushing your throat, brushing your ego. It's telling you that you wrong for this, or you can do better by this. Or wait a minute. And if they can't take correction, they have issues anyway. That's a spirit of pride is already there. So we're dealing with some stuff here. Let's go to our next one here.
Psalm 44:1 says, Blessed be Yahweh my strength, which teaches my hands to war and my fingers to fight.
And we're going to have to learn how to fight, saints. Fight for one thing, to stand in integrity. To stand for righteousness. Now we're talking about the pride of high caste. We're dealing with the pride of family superiority. The pride of family superiority. People think they're better than you. You beneath them. You're not part of this group. Let's get into this pride of high caste. Make me think of New Orleans, the paper bag, the brown paper bag. You darker than you. Your skin don't match that and lighter. You can't come in this club. You wasn't. No, you can't. You got to go over there to the other one. So a man coming there with his wife, if he because most of them was mixed anyway. So if he a fair complexion wife and dark, she can't come. He can't come in there with her either. Unless he gonna leave her outside. Or same thing with the woman. She can't bring him in this club. You see, a lot of people don't know they did that in New Orleans. But we gonna get in here just to show you where all this mess came from. Let me get over here. Let's talk about this here caste system. And it's called and it's called it's a blocko. I'm trying to think of the name of the term. Where they in Australia, where they took all these Australian and they raised them up, the young ladies and men, and they breed them in. I can't call the name of it. And I was saying it all morning. I should have written it down. But it's a term for it. Is to what? Is to mix.
Elder?
Yes.
Is it block? I don't think I'm pronouncing it right. Bloccamento.
Yeah. Yes. Bloccamento. That's what it is. They call it half caste children. And they take the children that they done bred it in there. When they went in and raped a lot of the women in Australia. And they took all what they call a half caste. And they bred them back into there. Now they look white as they do now. But they still couldn't take that seed out because they still got the features of Australia. And now they still treat them, and they still treat them low life.
They did that in Africa too, and they created the third race.
Yes.
Latinos, yep.
That's where a lot of these Latinos come from them Spaniards, mixing with the Indians. Them Spaniards did that. That's why they call themselves Latino. Because the real ones as dark as you and I. It say a caste system is a social structure which ranks people into various groups based on heredity. Let me get that.
Self-validity. You pronounce it right.
I'm trying to pull it over so y'all can see it all. Look like it's missing a word. And I don't know what it thinks about. Sometimes it's like it disappears. I can pull it over and I don't see it. He says, in India, Varna Yavasta, it is a rigid system which arranges persons in classes or social strata. Caste countries of the world, though it may not be as profound as it may be in other countries. In India, the significance, it is a high significance. They'll tell you right now, stay with your caste. Now, don't say your kind, you stay with your caste. Now, there's something wrong with that, y'all. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Stay with your kind. That's what they tell you. In other words, the one that look like you and have the same culture as you. He said it is a rigid. He said the caste country of the world, though it may not be as profound as it may be in other countries. In India, the significance in a certain region of the country as compared to others. But before we understand the caste is, he said caste is a social status or position conferred by a system in a society based on one's position, high or low, depending on the importance attached with that position. Then they give you breakdown here. The origin of the caste system, the caste system history, caste system today, advantage of a caste system, and disadvantage of caste system. Let's get into it. Now, I want y'all to understand all this falling under religion, bondage. He said the word caste has been derived from the Spanish word caste, meaning what? Breed or lineage in blockimento. I hate I can't get that over there. He says the terror, I don't know what that is. Sanskrit stands for varna, which means color. Though the caste system classification seems to be, whatever that word is, wasn't so in reality as we will find in the below mentioned passages. It is estimated that there are more having its respective characteristics. The caste system has scant regard to what? Regard for what? Religion. It existed, and Buddhism, and give all these different realities, sink it, or whatever that, and you see where Christianity right there with them. The rigidity, uses, and the prevalence of the system vary, but exists in Hinduism. However, the caste system is also the one which is most misunderstood. Taken in was what? Based on one's profession and not one's lineage. The modern caste system has done more damage. We can't get all that word. I'm going by what I read. Eliminated by various organizations and personalities have succeeded, but only to certain levels. It's X something other. But the spark doesn't cease to exist. Let's get into the caste system definition. The caste system definition: a social structure in which classes are determined by hereditary division in the society based on the difference of wealth, inherited rank, privilege, profession, or occupation. He's a form of social stratification in which one's status is determined by birth and is lifelong sociology. And it down, I wish I can get that word because I know I messed that up. He says, rigid hereditary separation of social groups. JFK Civil Rights Address. Class distinction based on birth and wealth. Close hereditary system of stratification, often dictated by religion. Hierarchical social status is ascribed parent social position, although originally caste depends upon a person's worth. It soon became hereditary social status. This is the origin of a caste system. Where it come from? Where's the origin come from? The origin of caste system lacks any substantial historical backing. There are certain religious biologists, and there is no universal accepted theory about the caste system. According to the Rig Veda, the ancient Hindu book, the Purush, a single cosmic person, destroyed different varnas, which are different groups of castes. Well, let's see. Let me get back here. Destroyed different groups or castes were created from different parts of his body. The Brahmins were what? Oh goodness! His hands, and he said that the Vaishyas from his thighs and the Sudras from his feet. Now, this was what they did. They looked at this that way in India. Now, we know they don't look that way in the U.S. Another theory states that caste system originated from Brahma in the Indian deity known as the Kree. Different castes were created out of different parts of the body of Brahma. They are ethnically different. Cross marriage, or even any contract of members of different races in the greatest crime. He said, race is the greatest crime. So they'll mix what they're trying to tell you. He says, Shudras or Sudras were laborers or servants. They were engaged in daily chores. In other words, according the darker you were, let me give you this thing down to brass tag. The darker you were, the easier your job was. He said they were engaged in daily chores, carpenter, etc. Were characterized as under their group. They were treated as untouchables as they dealt with works of labor, the society. He said they were ordered into the lowest ranking and did acquire respect and honor. Isn't that something? They don't require no respect and they don't require no honor. That's why you think they do that to us. The primary or the original caste system in India was intended to maintain harmony and cooperation to people based on their aptitude and qualities. A caste was subject to change based on an individual and encourage a healthy social life in a society. He said there was, I don't know how this thing cut this in off. He said there was very evidence to support this facet of them. Oh, let me go back. I missed a whole line, y'all. He said a caste was subject to change based on an individual. Now, what they're trying to say, an individual status is if it changed, and encourage a healthy social life in a society. There are various evidence to support this facet of, I don't know what that is, mentioned that we were all Brahmins, all Sudras. Rishi Yasha, who wrote many Hindu holy whatever wisdom, made him a Brahmin. However, this system was changed with the passage of time, and the varnas were of the caste were designated as per own quality. This altar system ushered in an era of cruelty. Listen what he's saying. It ushered in, and now they have issues in India now with the real bright skin Indian and the dark skin. It ushered in an era of cruelty, discrimination, and other social evils. He said, amongst these groups were certain rules and regulations which were followed inherently. He said these rules don't, and religious worship. However, the Brahmin and the Vaishyas were at more advantage as they had the least easily get away with breaking a rule or two. Most of the laws of the society were restricted on the chandras. That's the low. That's the low of the low. Well, not the low. Those the high. Those are the ones that's supposed to have so much. Like they do now. They let them get off, and you go to prison. Their son killed somebody, and your son run and have a wreck, and he end up in prison for life. During meals, anyone could accept food from the hands of a Brahmin, but a Brahmin would be polluted if he was lower caste person, if he served a lower caste person. In other words, a dark person. This is foolishness. But this stuff goes on. I'm not even gonna keep reading it. I'm gonna get down to the other one. Because this goes a long, long way. Mm-hmm. But I want to read this here. Let's get to the other one. Because see, that's where they adopted this stuff from. The arrival of the British colonizers. Caste system portrayed its ugly face during the British rule. It became a real menace for the Indian. So-called caste system portrayed it became a real menace for the Indian. Social weapon for social control. The English started acquiring control of India in 1757. They supported the Brahmin, had been denied during the Mughal rule. This was first but a small step to encourage Catholicism to take and understand the psyche of Indian society. To achieve this purpose, they attempted a census in 1872 strategy moved to understand the caste system in their favor. This is what they did. They used the caste system in their favor. So if there was real light, they used that. They took them ones. He's like they did in Australia, like they done everywhere they went, just like you just said. I forgot all about Africa. He said the data collected during the time of nationality, race, tribe, religion, and caste. Caste was used by them to classify people and discourage. I don't know. He said on something though. He said the divide and the rule policy was put in effect using the division. This is what they did in India. Now you got the peoples over there. When they put in the caste system, it was the level where you worked. It was your work, what you worked in. If you was a doctor, you was considered up here. If you was a lawyer, you was up here. If you was it went down the line. It was about your status of how you worked. It wasn't how you looked. It was your job type. That's what they looked at. And that's why India, even today, if they want to know when you come, because you got to have money to marry one of their daughters. And if you didn't have the kind of job, you wasn't going to be marrying their child. And that's why they classified that. Even today. But you see who came in there and they changed it and made it evil. He said, independent India, though the English invaders were evicted from the land, they left India and the society divided. But they still have issues now with the light and the dark. He said, intercaste marriage honor intercaste marriage honor killings. Now just how messed up when they got out of there, how messed up the people were.
Elder,
Go ahead.
I think we have to remember that, we often forget all of Abraham's wives were of dark races.
Yes.
If we want to really talk about the origin of this
Yeah.
thing,
Well,
because,
you know that
and
we know the origin
yeah,
go way back there because we know that where it come from.
right. So this just didn't happen on one or two in one or two countries or continents.
All
This
over
was
the place.
happening all over the world, and we see it as a
Yeah, I
result
said that
today.
earlier. This thing
Yeah,
started way back when. All they put in the 17. No, this started way back, way before then.
yeah.
It came from our own people.
And when I was younger, I used to believe that there was. I said, well, in every nationality, there's a white race and a black, and then now I understand
Mm-hmm.
why it wasn't just that way.
No, you see
It
what
was
they
made to
saying?
become that way. Hmm.
Yeah, it was. It was. That's why y'all say you stay with that you marry Israel. Israel marry Israel, and not to marry the other nations. And it wasn't about the color that time. It was about the spirit. It was about their serving their other gods. That's what that was about. You stay with because you stay with your God. Because they serve other gods. He made it clear. Do not marry them because they will turn you against your God. You will be what? Because that mother is the influence of those children. While you going off, she teaching them about her God, not your God. He said intercaste marriage honor killings. He's a very clear cut phenomenon. Is that of intercaste marriage honor? He said over the past few years regarding intercaste marriage, but there are certain rigid societies for whom caste honor and dishonoring the rules is what? Unpardonable. Still going on today. They left the spirit of evil when it's turning out. They use that, but they use it for what? The status of what their jobs was. It wasn't about their color. But when the enemy come up in there, he came up in there and he changed it and left them people what? A destroyed mind even to today. And we see that spirit all around the world. Go back to what you just said. It ain't gonna take y'all to fix that. And the enemy know what they done. And they know what they're doing now. But that's all they're doing now. I keep forgetting the word. It'll come back. That's what we see happening now. And we all of them up on all of a sudden everybody up on YouTube. I never seen so many. And it sounds like I'm hating, but I'm not. This is a spiritual thing, and they're so silly and they don't understand what's happening. Oh God. I'm gonna write that word down and I remember it again. You make block or whatever. Changing is casting. Because what they want to do, they're gonna breed them children right back in because they ain't having no babies.
Glaucomento.
She said Blockomento.
Yes, blockamento. I know it's a block, but I can't. I always forget blockamento. That's what it is. That's what's happening now, and people in their ignorance don't know. And blockamento is what is to breed. That's where the word comes. You breed it into another nation to be bred out into after two. As they say, after the third breed, they'll bred out. After the third generation, they have no. You can't tell. That's why we got so many of them walking around now look like Caucasian when they're really not. And then you got some and then vice versa. They go get the DNA all about. They got. I'm talking about. I come from white. Yeah, you did because you were breeded out. You were bred back into the because when our children do the same thing, when they go back into the neighborhood, they bred back into the neighborhood. They become darker and darker each generation. But you got to understand the bloodline's still there. What's in the bloodline is you can't take that out the bloodline. I'm telling you, this thing is serious. And I'm gonna read. Let me see that. I'm not going. I want to get down to the next one. This is when I want to get to this one. If I can get to this one, the advantage of the caste system. The advantage of the caste is it's a the manipulated caste system has more cons than pros. If not obvious, here are a few points to summarize. A roadblock for progress. Caste system. They just put foreign there, but it means caste. Caste system divides society, and the society which stands divided cannot what? Contribute as much efficiency as it should be. Conflicts between castes only cause unnecessary expenditure on the what? On the people controlling riots, agitation, etc. Also cause what? Wastage of time spent on the issue. If these issues didn't exist, into making a society far better than with the assistance of the caste system, tourism also gets affected, hurts the treasury. Regionalism, sponsored by caste sentiment. Isn't that something? They won't just say it. They caste. I'm gonna put it out there what they're talking about. Regionalism, sponsored by white sentiments, also puts an extra burden on the government. Division through force or otherwise. These are hampers peaceful coexistence. Since there is no unifying social force amongst the population, there will be is inactive and active form prevails. Such conditions are ideal for political aspiration and personal vendetta. I guess I don't know what the rest of that word is. It disintegrated. He said, prone to aggressive emotion. Aggression promotes further aggressions, and a change react to exist in such condition. All this stuff because they went in and they spread this stuff. This stuff, just like you say, it's always been. There's always been that we will stay within our what? Our tribe. Oh, but as we see through the word, down through the word, Yah told us to stay because what? It was about our Elohim. He wanted a what? A pure seed. And the enemy knew this, saints. They knew that, so they go in and they push this stuff. We see it happening before our eyes. You can't see it's almost like he's stick. You don't even see a black couple on a commercial. When you look up and see it, I'm like, oh, so they did put a black couple. It's like it's a surprise. Because they don't understand what this caste system is all about. When they understand what the caste system about, is to what? Bring back blockamento. To breed you out, to breed you back into another nation of people that you're supposed to be. And that's a religion. That's why we got to understand what this religion thing about. It has nothing to do with Yah. Everything about it is evil. read this here. He said possibility of a caste system being accepted, caste system being a deep rooted and an adaptable. And I think that I think adaptive machine. Sometimes there is a possibility of caste system being accepted as a norm. See, that's what it is happening now. They accept it like it is okay. He said when a behavior pattern keep people towards it becomes acceptable. So why you think this constantly putting it out there in your face? When all this mess, they keep pushing it in your face. After a while, it becomes normal to you. You don't look at it no more like you looked at it before. The devil is a liar.
Yeah.
The Father know what He's doing, and He's telling us in this word.
Elder,
Go ahead.
I'm looking at what you're looking at, and it says that last line that you read. It said when it keeps repeating itself over and over. That's the part. That's the word you couldn't see.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead and read it.
Okay, when a behavior pattern keeps repeating over and over and again, the mindset of the people towards it becomes acceptable.
Yes.
The government, too, being unable to erode it, might not make many efforts as required, owing to the persistent nature of the system and owing to their involvement in other top agencies.
So
I'm
in other
sorry,
words,
agendas.
so
Agendas.
what it's telling us, the government has part to do with this. They're not gonna deal with it because they're behind it. See, we got to understand these agendas. Because a long time ago, it had to go all the way up to the Supreme Court when this white guy married this black woman back in what that was back in the 40s or
Mm-hmm.
20s or 40s.
That was in
Mm-hmm.
Virginia, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, in the countryside of Virginia. When they end up getting married, that was against the law.
Mm-hmm.
We all the way up in Washington, it was all dead set against it. It was up there then, it's up there still. And the only reason why it is now because their numbers are low. They won't tell you that where this stuff is coming from. I'm just here to tell you the truth. What's happening around you, we got to understand. We cannot allow to be ignorant saints of Yah. Come on, keep reading.
Infringes individual freedom. The rigidity of this caste system infringes individual freedom as it would not allow a person to act as per his wishes. To simple put forth, it wouldn't allow a person to marry outside his caste. Emotions like love and or friendship outside the caste structure prevents healthy social interaction.
See, that's why they didn't want the people to be. They didn't want them to be friends because after they be friends and stuff, they end up falling in love with one another. That's why they didn't want them to live by each other. They didn't want them to go to school together. I can remember a day when they did integration. That was the biggest fear. When they didn't even realize a lot of them was always coming in the neighborhood running after them black young men anyway. Come on.
Develops low self-esteem. The inequality amongst the rich and the poor has been always visible. The gap between the high caste and the low caste is also visible, especially in rural areas. And in environments where both castes mix up, i.e., in academic environments
That's an example.
or a social one, one's caste becomes a bone of contention. The low caste people suffer the brunt of high caste, though jeering, hate comments, physical abuse, etc. Such a behavior develops a low self esteem on the inflicted, and it is only when a certain sort of insightness
It,
happens,
yeah, incidents.
incidents happens that it, um, well, I got tongue tied, happens that it coincides and I can't get it out
Coincides.
and realize.
Mm-mm-mm. See how dangerous this stuff is. We say a catalyst for racism. That's exactly what it is. It's a catalyst for racism. Because the people that do not have the opportunity, shalom, brother, that does not have the opportunity to actually fight against what they call it, the high caste.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way they got this, but you got to understand who they're talking about. The ones that what the high class in every way, and deem themselves superior over you. And it's a pure disdainment to find out one of those is over in your neighborhood, want one of your men, or want one of your women. It's a mess. And all this fall under what? Religion, bondage. You can go ahead and finish reading that.
A catalyst for racism. Is that the one you want me to read?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Racism, a worldwide phenomenon, though in decline, existed. Nonetheless, racism can be called as the big brother of capitalism. This is so because caste and race have similar attributes. There is a high race, high caste, and low race, low caste.
Mm-mm-mm.
Since caste system follows the footpath of racism, it itself is a
Harbinger.
harbinger of this hollow classification where the color of a race becomes a source of discrimination.
Oh, I don't know about that. You do any of y'all know about that?
Mm-mm.
Any of y'all familiar with that?
Oh, please.
It becomes a what?
Always.
A source of discrimination.
Oh, so that's what's happening here. So that's why you look like a low life. You call low life, and you ain't gonna be this, and you ain't gonna be all because they have deemed in their own mind that because you in a certain place, you ain't nothing. And they look like down on you like you ain't gonna get there because we ain't gonna let you get there. You're not coming up here with us. So you gotta see where all this mindset come from. And I'm gonna do everything I can to keep you down. Because so in my psyche, you low caste. You don't have no business. That's why that word come out of their mouth. You don't have no business over here. Why are you over here? You ain't got no business. You can be. I don't care how much. Pay just as much for your house as they have. And you look at this kind of ignorance and have a dazzling attitude. You ain't got no business being here. What they're saying is you low class. What you trying to be over here with us? But you ask them, do they love Jesus? No, they serving a religion. They're not serving the Most High. They're not even close. this thing is so dark and deep. Is it'll take you down to a place like say the rabbit hole.
That's right.
That's why you got to be prayed up to do this kind of work, these kind of lessons. Because in your discovery, you're gonna find some stuff that you didn't know you're gonna find. Which I'm not surprised because it's worse than this. I don't even know we'll get to all that. Come on to the next one. The misuse.
Misuse of low caste and high caste status. Many times, the status attached to a high caste or low caste is craftfully put into practice to achieve a purpose.
What?
To
Crafty.
get
This is what it said. Now, who used crafty counsel?
mm.
I just want you to think about what you
Oh,
do.
Mother Judy said that for population control.
Of course it is.
yeah.
Now, who you think used crafty counsel?
Well, the scriptures tell us who used crafty counsel.
All right. They still at work. Come on.
To get a mission in certain institutes, people create or bribe officials to fake documents presenting themselves as belonging to a low caste. Similar
Yes.
practice.
See, don't pass this. What you just said, they high caste, but they manipulate themselves through the institution to get documents. They bribe them, get documents. Now to get what the low class caste gets.
Mm.
So now that's why you see all this when they say they got all this money out there for the minority. See, you have to watch that word minority. Because I think even one of the stars found out one of their children was going up under this system what you talking about right now. And ended up kicking them out of there. Bribe their way in to take your resources. And they talking about black women. No, they don't. They say minority. The most of the people get that money for business is the white women, and it's documented.
There was a young lady. This was back in the early 2000s, I believe. A young woman in her, I think she was probably in her late 20s, early 30s, millionaire, in South Carolina, Caucasian, and she was getting she had worked the system where she was getting $5,000, some high amount of food stamps.
You try that. See what you go to jail.
They don't want to give them. They don't want to give some people
You try that.
$24 a month.
Right?
Well, please. They make too much. They don't got enough.
But see what she just said. You get the high caste going and they do bribes and they manipulate and they get what you get. That's why I don't go with this thing talking about minority. Because at one point we were the minority and that worked. But now you got all these people coming in here. Don't you go back there if they don't say nothing for the African American descendants of slaves. Don't fall prey to that because you're not getting it. Because all them Afghans and everybody else in here is now considered minority. And they'll go up there and get what the government claimed they made for them. They're liars and manipulators. And see, they know the system. They know how to use it and abuse the system. Just what you're reading. Come on. Oh, I get too mad.
Similar practices are observed in other areas as well. People, in order to attain wealth from a wealthy groom, fake their identities as they, I'm sorry, fake their identities as that of high caste ones. There are also well to do SCs and BCs who take undue advantage of their categorization of belonging to a low caste. Even though they have enough resources, they resort to taking benefits provided to them on account of government policy.
Why you think let's go back. What was that they was giving when during the pandemic? All these companies they start giving us the money
They gave
out
they
and saying for the low people that for all the
Oh,
companies
this,
that was struggling.
I didn't
the
get the stimulus. This, oh, okay.
PPP loan.
Yeah, there you go, the PPP loan,
PPP loan.
Wow.
and that was for the poor people that had people working for them, and they're trying to hold up their business and give them the money so they can take and keep their business running. When they take a survey, all these big corporations disguised themselves and got millions and millions of dollars, and the little poor man, it was very few percentage of them.
Some of them got billions of dollars.
Yeah, some of them got billions of dollars because they knew how to manipulate it. Matter of fact, they jumped on it before you could even get on it.
You know what the sad part about that was they like these programs supposed to be providing meals for the children in school.
Mm-hmm.
They took that and wrote that up to get that money for that purpose to keep that money because they never did
They never did, but
never
one
did present
hamburger.
that money. Never.
And they ain't been accounted for it either, because the first thing is, if there had been these little black businesses that did that, they would be plastered all over the news. We just might as well say it like it is, because that's what's happening. A lot of there were so many people went out of business. These small businesses went out of business because you got the big liars, the manipulators went in there and took it. They know exactly what they're doing. See, when you know the system and you know how to manipulate the system, and you part of it, you know how to get out there and get it quick.
And another thing about that, Elder, is I found out is the fact that the retreat of money, they still going after a lot of those ones that really needed that money, but that's not fair either.
Yeah,
But they're making them pay
they're
it
still
back.
going after those people. They was honest. They really needed, and they
Yeah,
used.
they needed that money.
Sister Judy said,
She worked for elementary school. Well, uh, to do families was able to collect Social Security for their children they claim to have learning disability. Oh God.
It's getting worse.
They use their
yeah,
children like
I
a
don't know. I don't know. I can finish
bag.
this lesson today.
Hmm.
So I'm not surprised. Why are you surprised? Because you see, they have friends and stuff up there. They manipulate and they put paperwork and they do stuff, and here you them suffering trying to get a some food stamps. And then if they send you some, and I don't know where they get that crap sending these seniors $25 and $30.
So what are they gonna do for them?
That's a shame before the Most High.
yeah.
You can't even buy a pack of meat now for that.
You can even buy fruit.
You sure can't. Because every time I go to buy some fruit, I'm out of $35, $40 just for fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so high.
Exactly.
This stuff is ridiculous, and we got to understand what's happening. And they're telling us where all this stuff come from. And it's sitting under religion bondage.
That's right.
The lies and the deception.
Lie, deception, and deceit.
I don't know where you at now.
Me?
I'm fake pride.
Okay, go ahead.
Fake pride. A son of a genius may not necessarily turn out to be a genius.
Oh, really?
Sim- Similarly, a person of high caste doesn't necessarily means one with high stature in the world. In the world, a person's capabilities and intellect count. Belonging to a high caste is only a fake pride with which one may throw his weight around in his local
Oh, so
community,
it
but
really
at the
spread
work,
it out now.
yes, local community, but at the workplace or another environment. It all comes down to your potential. This fake pride can be a source of embarrassment and shame if one isn't capable as he makes it out through his high caste. Moreover, in today's employment scenario, a Brahmin who is not supposed to touch meat is a chef in a restaurant. He is not only touching but also consuming meat. Similarly, a Shudra is an IPS officer, even though his caste translates him into an untouchable. The above mentioned are few of the effects of of a diseased society afflicted with the caste system. There are many effects which are less prominent and less visible to the common people. The above subject matter has proved the irrelevance of caste system, yet it continues to plague our society. The solution lies in the mindset of people, which is susceptible to division and rigid as is the case amongst rural communities. As long as there are corruption, politicians, and other supporting factors, the system cannot be eliminated. It will thrive in one way
Wow.
or the other, adapted as per one's need. There is no honor in killing a girl or boy, or both, or those involved, in the name of honor killing. An honor of this nature is useless. It is not tangible. You are not going to get an honorable medal, or neither is it noble, nor it is a compliment. It defies the humane rule of live and let live. A caste is by no means a source of identification. Identifications can be masked with fake ones, as is
Mhm.
the caste with the fake passports and the fake IDs. To have surname beyond that which has been assigned as per one's religion is a slap on those who propounded it. How suitable is it to defy your own little g, who amongst all religions had commonly propounded the assignment of equality amongst all? If one if one goes by security risk, the technology is already issuing dramatical and technological advanced IDs. The sense of pride of having a high caste is hypocritical. The world does not acknowledge the highness of a caste or a surname. It acknowledges true wisdom, the act of hardship, skills, achievements, and the other pursuits. The world already stands divided. How many more divisions do we need?
I know that's right. How
Caste,
many more?
caste is a hollow structure born by those who still have to understand what life is all about.
Wow. All praises to the Most High.
Oh,
Caste
praise.
system is put something put in place from the enemy. Onslaught from the beginning. It was the enemy that caused the downfall of the people of the Most High. And still, that spirit, still, didn't I say earlier that them spirits don't die? They move from one generation to the other, whether good, bad, or indifferent. And here, this whole thing, and you still got this mindset. This come out of today's situation. This giving you the mindset of them, even though the guy's telling from an Indian standpoint. He's telling us right now what this mindset is that we are dealing with. He said, now this right here, we're going to talk about this and then we're going to go into some, because the other one's just pretty much where we can talk. The pride of official position. When you talk about an official position, official position is about the inescapability of justice. Now check this out. They use this individual, him being in prison, but you want to get the gist of the story, because the gist of the story really speaks volume to what's happening right now. He says, Louis Remire, though a common criminal like the rest of the inmates of St. Laurent de Moroni, has set himself above his fellow prisoners and above the law. Now, he thought like this in the world. He considers the rest of the prison community lawless rabble, and has nothing but contempt for them. He takes excessive and almost fetishistic pride in the guillotine time that he uses to bring them to justice, and feels unnaturally contented after a successful execution. He has no sense that he did nothing wrong, because he gonna wipe them out. Since coming to the what? Since coming to the penal colony, he has disdained his own kind and fawned over the authorities, and his psychohancy. We talked about that word. Has he thinks paid off. Louis Remire is complacently and prematurely counting his blessing as the story opens. Though he considered himself an agent of justice, however, a sort of police officer on special assignment, Louis Remire is really nothing more than a common criminal himself. He has, in a fit of passion, killed a woman whose grievances against him were fully justified. Worse, he has never felt the slightest twinge of guilt over his crime. That's how they can kill you, because they don't feel no guilt, because they have this place of official position. I'm over you. You're not coming up here where I am, and I'll fight and kill somebody. They think they're going to take over my position. That's what the mindset of what's happening in the United States and all over the world where they reside. Because their fear is somebody's going to take over, going to rise above them. He says, though he considered himself as agent of justice, however, a sort of police officer on a special assignment. This is on special assignment. Louis Remire is really nothing more than a common criminal himself. He has, in a fit of passion, killed a woman whose grievances against him were fully justified. Worse, he has never felt the slightest twinge of guilt over his crime. Through a complex process of rationalization, Louis Remire has come to accept and even revel in the way his life has turned out. However, the story insists that justice will prevail, no matter how circuitous its method. Louis Remire is the end punished not only for murder, but also for pride. And it is fitting that one of his fellow prisoners has the last word on the case of Louis Remire, declaring that finally, with the executioner's execution, justice has been served. This spirit of pride, think I'm going to always be on the top. One day, you'll be just like Louis Remire. It's coming down. Because the executioner, which is our Yahuwah, is going to bring that spirit down. And they're fighting in everywhere they can to remain in that official position. And they will take down a nation if they can to stay there.
Elder,
Go ahead.
I have a prime example. First, we got a visitor over here in this chat that need to get kicked out. But I have a prime example of this fake pride and what you're speaking to. I'm not for sure. I just saw it yesterday, but I think it happened like a month ago. I saw it a couple of days ago, where a sheriff deputy who in Georgia, you may have heard about it, who's running for councilman in a wherever he's running at. They were transporting a prisoner, him and his wife, who was also a deputy. She's a deputy. He's the sheriff. Something's wrong with that.
Yes.
And him transporting a prisoner himself with the wife. That's something seemed wrong with that. But anyway, who am I? I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah, I would never done that. That should never have been.
Yeah. So they stopped at a convenience store, and the husband, they both went in. The husband, I guess that's another thing. They left the prisoner outside by himself, I guess. And he went back to the car. She was in there paying for her items, and a young brother was in there who was a private contractor for the government. He when she turned around, she bumped in, or they said he bumped into her because she was the one walking from the counter and he was standing behind her. She immediately went out, told her husband, who was the sheriff, that this man had groped her.
Oh no.
And he didn't. They got it on camera. The police was called. The husband arrested him. He wasn't even from that county. The sheriff of that county or that town. He arrested him. They called the sheriff of that county. They came, looked at the videotape, and said, "No, we don't see nothing that you're talking about." They not only still allowed the other police officer, the sheriff that wasn't even of that county, put him in handcuffs because of his Cameron wife. Then they proceeded to take the young lady that was with him, his fiance girlfriend. They took her phone. The woman snatched her phone out of her hand so she could erase their recording, because the other police officer looked at his surveillance from the store and said he didn't grope you. Y'all just bumped into each other. But what forced it, and they ended up taking him to jail anyway. She began to cry because of her tears. They arrested him.
That's tears of weaponry.
Yes, the weapon of tears. Yes, they arrested him, and now he's sitting in jail, losing. With the government contract, he gonna lose. He cannot no longer work for the government because now he got that on his. He's dealing with that, and so this man is running for council. This sheriff is running for councilman. But my point is, no, even though they saw it on video, all the witnesses said it didn't happen. They watched it on the video. The police the police officers that showed up said that that didn't happen. He didn't grope her because she used her weapons of tears. Her husband, which was not the sheriff of that county in Virginia, put his handcuffs off and arrested the man anyway, and was allowed to do it.
That official position.
Yes. That's what you were just speaking of. That fake pride.
You know it's gonna take y'all to bring this stuff down.
Yeah.
That was all wrong all over the place. Anytime of fear of public opinion. It can't be too fear of public opinion. That go back to what you just said. Snatch the girl out the phone out of the girl's hand. They don't want to be seen. I think they just got something now where they find out these police was lied. They don't know who killed the little girls. Now they won't check all the police. So now they won't, because if one black person in there, they couldn't put it on him. So they tried to put it on him at first. And they couldn't prove who bullet was, but they know it wasn't his. But if they found out it wasn't his that was in the child, now whose on was it? Now all of a sudden, everybody get punished. See, that's why they go for and that's against the law right there. You cannot go and take nobody's phone out of their hand. And when there's ain't no threat for you to film what's going on with you. You have that right. But because it is in pride and it's the official position, they think that's what happened in here. Because see, the father is uncovering, just like up here in Camden County, they uncovering that mess where they beat this young man up in the jail. And this literally, it was unmerciful. And he said, I don't care if they beat me. He said, I was not going down because I was not going to be another George Floyd. You got 7 millions on him, and and they couldn't put him on the floor. He wasn't a big man. That should have told him something right there. If they let him fight 1-on-1, they wouldn't even win. You got 7, you can't do nothing with him still. And he has a case of mental illness. He asked them, first of all, they stopped him for traffic violation. That should have been a ticket. They went on about their business. No, they put him in jail. And he said, I'm having and he told me, he said, I have problems, And they always think we lying when we say something. He suffered with mental illness. And he asked them to put him in. So he went in, before he could sit down, all of them jumped on it. And I'm so glad they got that on YouTube. What is that, Undisputed? Because I put in there, that's what I tell you, I put in there. I'm so glad y'all, I said, please make that go viral. Oh, that's right down the road from us. Not for, as a matter of fact, it really that far from where Ahmaud Arbery was killed. I said they know each other. This stuff got to stop. And not only that, we got to be more educated in why things are happening.
Well, Elder, you can watch that video up there because that's where it's at on Undisputable.
Yeah, that's where I watched it at. That's where I first saw it. And first he said Camden County. I said, Camden County? That's 22 miles from us. He said attachment to wife, children, wealth, and possession, even though this can be okay. But when you put them above Yah, when they become a religion, see, people don't understand how people worship their family. You're supposed to love your people. You're supposed to love your family. But you're supposed to love them through the love of Yah. Because they act like your child don't mean nothing to you. That's why they can look at you and while you suffer, it's no big deal. But when it comes to theirs, they're going to turn all kind of twists and everything out of line, manipulation, bribe to get theirs out of, when yours had like this in this case, a traffic violation, and end up beat merciless. And they keep him in the jail for a month and they didn't get no medical attention. They ain't want nobody to see it because they had them beat him up so bad. When you go to the jail and you can't see your loved one, you got to know that's why. Because they done something to him. I used to say, I don't know why people think these other nations love their children better than black folks love theirs. They love and care about their sons and daughters just like anybody else does. These spirits are, I'm telling you, they're a menace to society. They say partiality for wrong beliefs and inferior religion. You doing it, we see it every day. We see all this wrong belief. They make up their own story, their own religion. That's what religion is. You make up your own stuff and you go by it. In their mind, they think they're right. They form their own opinion about who they think you are, and which we know is a lie. They don't know you, and they're not trying to get to know you. He said, hope and hope and greed and desire for worldly pleasure. We already know what that is. That's not of Yah. He told us that be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Don't you get hung up on this world and this riches. Because when you get hung up on the world and this riches, you're telling me that I can't provide for you. It's by any means necessary that I will take it. I'll take anything nailed down to get to my goal. I'll step on anybody to get where I need to be. He don't care. But we all know we deal with a lot of egotism. And there ain't nothing but another word of pride. You're dealing with these things every day. And this is what we see that's supposed to be protecting. This is what we see, the spirit of manipulation. Go right along with the other one. Spirit of deception and lies. The Father gonna deal with this stuff. Let me get over here and get these scriptures, and I'm going to be done for today. I want to see that. I'm going to go there. Give me Romans the 11 and 2. Because he's telling us stuff here because he's our avenger. Come on, along Romans 11 and 32. And just get all the Romans right now. And we're going to wrap it up. I got some more I want to talk about that basically talk about what we talk about. He gonna convert all these bondages, all these unfair, what to say, unjust balances. That's what it is. Hey, you got to turn on you're on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. May was making noise. That's why I had muted. Go back. I apologize for that, y'all. Romans 11:32. For Elohim has concluded them all in unbelief, that he might have mercy upon all.
Keep reading.
Okay, that's
12 and 19.
Okay, yeah. 12 and 19. And it says, dearly beloved, avenge not yourself, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, and I will repay, says Yahweh.
What he said, he gonna repay. We don't have to fight in this fight, saints. We just have to walk upright before Yah. Mine say, for Yah has co-sign all to disobedience, that he may what? Have mercy on all. Let me say, beloved, never avenge yourself, but leave it to the wrath of Yah. For it is written, vengeance is mine. He said, I'm going to be the one to repay them. I see all this unjust balances. I see all this lies and deceit. I see all this behind the door bribes. I see all of these things, and I'm going to deal with it. These are another form of work. They worship power, saints. They worship a being on the top. When you puff yourself up and say, "I'll always be on the top," I'm gonna always be in an official place above everybody. That is a place. You don't set your own religious mindset. Has nothing to do with y'all. I don't care what color you are. When you set yourself up above the things of the Most High Elohim, He will set a standard up against you. He don't care who you are. 13:13 tell us.
13:13 says, "Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in clamoring and wantonness, not in strife and envying."
This one say, "Let us walk properly as in the daytime, not in orgies and drunkenness, not in sexual immorality and sensuality, not in quarreling and jealousy. That should not be named among us," he's saying. Not if you're walking in this is divine truth. Not if you walking. That's what the world does. Don't let me find you in there. He said that is what the world doing. We read the whole chapter. That you won't be caught into that, Israel. That's what the heathen does. I'm gonna jump over here. Where are my chapters? He said, so now, this is what he's going to do for us, saints. We rejoice in this word. He said, so now I will break his yoke from upon you. He said, I will tear off your shackles. I'm finna loose you, saints of Yah. I'm finna make your enemy be your footstool. Psalm 2 and 3 said, let us tear their feathers apart. I'm going to get you out of bondage, saints, and cast away their cords from us. Your bondage is about to end. He said, for he has shattered gates of bronze. Who did this? Yah. He said, and cut bars of iron asunder. Yah the one free us up. He's the one going to pull down the strongholds. He's the one going to pull down the unjust. He said there, Psalm 107:10 said, there were those who dealt in the darkness and in the shadow of death, prisoners in misery and chains. They still is. They're talking about this because this is going to be past tense, saints. We got many of our people in prison and in what? Even walking around, you in chain when you can't go out your door, let somebody mess with you. You don't know it's not you going to come back. This young man that you just talked about, he's about doing his everyday business. The enemy is out to destroy, to kill and to destroy, to steal everything that y'all give you. He let us know we are not alone. He said, breaking the chains. Most relevant. He said, he brought us out of darkness. He's the one did it. And what? His yoke bar from upon her, and he will tear off her shackle. That's just to repeat what the other one verse said. Oops. I hate it when I do that. I don't know how this got repeated like that. He said, there was those who dealt in darkness and in the shadow of death. prisoners. I don't know how to jump back and forth like that. He said, and suddenly, Acts 16:26, there came a great earthquake. Then I tell y'all, these earthquakes is doing this because y'all waking up. So that the foundation of the prison house was shaken. Why did it happen? Because Israel they start praying. And as we pray, as we continue to lift up the things of the Most High Elohim, you're going to see more and more happen. If it happened then, saints, it's going to happen again. The word says, and suddenly there came a great earthquake, so that the foundation of the prison house was shaken. Immediately all the doors were open and everyone's chain was unfastened. Listen, this is going to be a big breakout. We see it happening right now. We got to understand y'all is at work. He's at work because we are turning back to his face. And not only that, we're praying. He said, is this not the fast which I chose to loose what? When we fast, we fast for a reason. He said, the fast I call is to loose the bonds of wickedness. Break that stuff and bring it down. And to undo the bands of the yoke. And to let the oppressed go free. And break every yoke. He said, I need you to break every yoke. I need you to operate in the things that I have. And you can't do it in bonds. I'm finna break this stuff. I'm finna turn this thing around. If they worry about cash and half cash, they gonna have a heart attack. Because now, if they worry about the official position, they finna have a heart attack. Because y'all finna do some things that he finna do something we ain't never seen before. He said, it shall come about on that day, declares Yahuwah of hosts, that I will break his yoke. He finna break. He said, this thing finna, I'm telling you, it's coming upon us so fast. We got to understand what's happening around us. He won't break his yoke off of our neck, and not only that, will tear off their bonds, rip them off. And stranger will no longer make them what? Hey, we gonna be on slave for nobody no more. We give y'all all this praise and glory. Your slave days is over, saints. This word of Yah has declared it. And don't you think your enemy does not know this? Don't you think for 1 minute they have not read this? Now they're going to try to jump on your side and manipulate you to join up with them. Don't join with nobody. You don't need, you got Yah. We don't need to come out of these places and go join with somebody else. He wants you separated. He says, so it will be in that day that his burden will be removed. His troubles going to be removed from your shoulders. And his yoke from your what? Your neck. And the yoke will be broken because of fatness. You going to be the high caste. I'm finna turn this stuff around. He said, I will go to the great. Jeremiah 5:5 said, I will go to the great and will speak to them. For they know the way of Yahuwah. You better give some sense the way to go if you don't know how to get there. He said, but they too, with one accord, have broken the yoke and burst the bonds. What he said? Because they broke out. Let me see how my elders got free. Let me see how my brother and my sister, how do you do this? How you got free? How you became to walk in this divine truth? Because I see y'all walking in this truth and I don't know what to do. So tell me, show me. I need knowledge and understanding here. He said he got sense enough here to go find somebody that knows something that he don't know and understand. Show me how to burst the bars off of me. Show me how to get free. Because I don't know how to get free on my own. Show me how to be free. He said, because he had what? Often been bound. You're bound everywhere you go. You can't do this, you can't do that everywhere you go. Then you got eyes on you. You just go to get a cup of coffee. The man just stopped there to probably just get a fresh mint and just stretch. Little did he know. That sounds like a movie, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because he has often been bound with shackles and chains, and the chains has been torn apart by him. This is what y'all said. The chains will be torn apart by us. And we can break the chain by our mouth. He says, neither, even in your mouth. When you speak it, according to my will, I'll do it in the earth. You want to be loose, speak like you want to be loosed. You want to be healed, speak like you want to be healed. He said the shackles broken in pieces. Look at here. You can't put them back together. He broke them up. And no one was strong enough to subdue him. We got to understand. He finna break some stuff. We know that this concept come from Samson. But that's what he finna do for us in the spirit realm and the physical. They couldn't hold him down spiritually, and they couldn't hold him down physically. As you walk in the word of Yah continuously, oh, he finna give you back your strength. He said, but wait on me. He said, the breaker goes up before them. Listen what he said, the breaker. Who's the breaker, saints? Oh, we give him glory. He said they break out. Why did they break out? Because the breaker goes up before. Oh, we give him glory. He said they break out, pass through the gate, and go out by it. Why? Because the breaker went up before. Oh, we give him glory. I feel like dancing. He said, so their king goes on before them, and Yahuwah at their head. Let's pray for our breaker to come, saints. Oh, we give glory for the breaker. Because when he show up, everything going to shake loose off of us. We're not waiting till the battle's over. We going to shout now. He said, shake yourself. Now, I didn't even see that. Shake yourself from the dust and rise up, O captive Israel, Jerusalem. Wake up. You don't even know you've been loosed. You don't even know you've been set free. And you're acting like you don't even know you've been delivered. Just shake yourself. You're going to be surprised. You're going to see all that stuff falling off of you. He said, rise up. Oh, captive Jerusalem, you're not captive anymore. Oh, I give you glory. How I know I'm not captive? Because you said in your word, y'all, when we turn back, we begin to see the world react. We'll see the flood. We'll see the mountain clapping. We'll see the ocean and the rivers overrunning their bank. The earth will what? Begin to tremble. Because this is the day they were waiting on. They wait for the manifestation for the sons of Yah to get alignment up. Get up and shake yourself. You already been loose because the breaker have gone before us. Oh, we give him glory. We honor him today. Hallelujah. All we can say, Father, thank you for the breaker. The break of everything, every foul ground, everything that comes to bind us up. We thank you for the breaker. We give him all his glory. He said, loose yourself from the chains around your neck. You loose it. It's already been loose. Just take it off. Oh, captive daughter of Zion, I got your back. I went before you, and I passed by, the chain had to fall off. They couldn't stay. He said, make the chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes. Listen what he said. He's telling us now to make the chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. You put in captivity, you going in captivity. This it says the word of the Most High. Psalm 6:86. So Yah makes a home for the lonely. Yes, he does. He leads out the prisoner into what? Prosperity. Only the rebellious dwell in a parched land. Only the rebellious. Ain't nothing happening. Out there fighting and killing and trying to take it, and you look like, and he say you in a dry land. And what I get through doing, every time I send something, they gonna see how dry your land is. I'm gonna sweep it into the sea, or they gonna fall in the ground. All because what you have done to my people. And keep doing it, because you don't want to give up position. You ain't got to give it up. Y'all finna take it. That's why we don't have to fight for anything. Let him do that. He said he had his dwelling among what? The tomb. Crazy man. Thought it was crazy. And no one was able to bind him anymore, even with a chain. Call him a lunatic. He out there bound up. Yahushua had to show his breaker. See, his breaker hadn't showed up here. But we know the story. When the breaker showed up, he only broke the chain off of the man, chain of the demonic forces. It wasn't about the chain. It's what was going on in the inside of the man. The man cried out, and nobody could help him. But his breaker came. That's what we got to understand. Our breaker is come. He ain't coming. He is come. And we see the results, saints. He said, for long ago, I broke your yoke. This is what he said. You have been freed a long time, and you didn't even know it. And tore off your bonds. But you said, I will not serve. For on every hill and under every green tree, you have lain down as a harlot. You were free and you didn't know you're free, but you go hook yourself up with a harlot, with somebody don't care nothing about me. And I freed you to serve me, but you wouldn't. I freed you to come into my courts. I went before you. I made your crooked ways straight, and you would not walk therein. Oh, he's giving glory. For he had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man. For it had seized him many times. And he was what? Bound with chains and shackles and kept under guard. And yet he would break his bonds and be driven by the demons into the desert. See, that's what the desert do. The demon do. Have you running everywhere. Have you all over the place. But y'all say, I'm going to break. Listen, he might be out of them fetters, but he's still bound up. That's what he's saying. Some of y'all people still bound and they doing all this breaking. They run from one place to the other, and all they got to do is cry out. Because y'all is able to break every fetter, every chain. Not only break it, but to bust them asunder in pieces. To take every demonic force that we've been, enslaved and picked up in all kind of mess dealing with. You know, trauma brings about demonic forces. People don't understand that. And some people won't get healing. They won't seek out medical attention. They want to keep hollering they're all right. You know it's all right to say you ain't all right. you need some help. He said, also the tree of the field will yield its fruit, and the earth will yield its increase, and they will be secure on their land. This is what he said to, I done loose you up. And when you get to your land, you're going to be secure. You ain't going to be in chain no more. You ain't going to be a subject, and you ain't going to be no cast down to nobody. Because I'm going to do this for you. He said, then will they know. This is what he said. Then they're going to know I am Yahuwah. When I have broken the bars of their yoke and have what? Delivered them from the hand of those who has enslaved us. Oh, yeah, they're going to holler, them the people who we done enslaved them, and we done them this, and we done cast them down, we done put them in a group, in the lower parts of the low. We tell every people that come in the country, don't bother with them. Stay away from them. They ain't nothing but a bunch of thieves and robbers and whores and all. Them the one. You don't have to believe it. Watch it, y'all work his word. And then I saw an angel coming down from heaven, holding the key of the abyss and a great chain in his hand, because he coming down to bind up. Oh, we give him all his glory, all his honor. He said, then Paul answered, what are you doing, weeping and breaking my heart? For I am ready not only to be bound, but even to die at Jerusalem for the name of who? Yahushua Mashiach. We got to get that mindset, saints. We really got to have that kind of mindset. Be willing to die for what we believe, because the world willing to die for what they believe. They're dedicated for what they believe, saints. We got to understand that the world they don't make no bones about what they believe. They tell you what they believe. Not only they tell you what they believe, they act on it. Did we just read the scriptures telling us how they manipulate the system, how they go in and take what's belong to you, how they get you out of it, and then they have audacity to tell you that ain't no more funds. Oh, we don't have to worry about that no more. Just cling to this word. Because this word for it have turned things around for us. We got to know it's turned around, saints. I don't care how bad it look. I don't care how bad they say it is. The word says you are free. I have loosed the shackles off of your neck, and I have busted your chain to pieces. So when they come out against you, you stand on the word of Yah. Stand in which what? The salvation of which have made you free. This word has made us free, and we out. They want to call. They still treating us like we slave, but you got to know you no slave. They treating us like this system that they set up. We just read about the system that they have set up. It told us about the system. It's set up by class. But y'all knows that. He understands that. That's why he sent his word of encouragement to us. And we got to know that whatever you're going through right now, hang in there. Do not give up. Know that you are free. They might try to bound up your flesh, but they can't bind your spirit. Unless you allow them to. We got to know this thing is serious. And y'all knows these things. He know what he have to do for us. We got to know that we're free in our spirit, our mind, our body, our soul. And when this evil come up, and they will rise up his head, let y'all deal with it, because y'all say he would. That's why he told you to get your chain. You go get your chain. I'm gonna let you bind them like they bound you. They going in shackles just like they put you in shackles. They don't like to hear this. But that's the truth of his word, whether you like to hear it or not. The word don't change because we don't like to hear it. That's one thing I found out. Truth don't cease because you get angry with it. Oh, we give him glory. We give him praise. He said, if I did mine like that, what you think I'm going to do to the enemy that came out against my children? It's almost like a parent say, I can spank him, but you can't. I don't give you the right to do that. If I told you to keep him in your care, I didn't tell you to do that to him. I didn't tell you that you further the cause. I never told you to do my people like you doing. Oh, we give him glory and praise. Saints of the Most High, let me say something to you today. According to the word of the Most High, he has showed us in his word. Throughout this word, we're dealing with a system. And we're dealing with a system that only recognizes their system that they set up. We keep trying to fight against a system that's never been ours. It had never been planned for us, and it never will be. And if we don't know that by now, say we ain't gonna never know it. We're never gonna understand. We're gonna always be out there. I don't want to see another fist raised up in the air. Because they have not done anything for us. From the time they started the mess, rioted. And even to now, we still in the same caste system. Y'all tell me if I'm lying. Please, tell me if I'm lying. Tell me if anything changed. Because I want to know. They say inquiring mind want to know. I just want to know.
In the truth. You're speaking the truth.
Because I haven't seen anything change. Because ever since I've been small, I've been seeing the same thing. Only thing I see haven't changed, but they want to put that back. Blacks to the back, go through the back door. That's the only thing. They moved the signs, but they haven't moved the system. Let me say that again. They moved the signs, but they have not moved the system. So what good is that? We're still dealing with the same caste system, saints. But we got to understand Yah has a plan for those that will walk upright and believe his word today. You got to believe that you're out from under the shackles according to Yah. Your enemies they haven't got the telegram yet. They haven't got the telegram that Yah have made you free. They think it's about this 400 years. No. He tell you, I've made you free now because that's why I'm calling you back. They cleanse you up. So I can start dealing with these things. Because I'm finna deal with them. But I need my people to get in alignment with me. I need my people to understand that it's time, it is high time that we stand fast in the things of Yahweh, his word, and say, we need the truth now. And we need to stand on the truth according to his word. Abba Yah, we thank you for the day. We thank you for your word. We thank you for the readers of your word. We thank you most of all for the ears, that this word will fall upon today. We're so grateful that you have loved us to the point of all that we're going through and all that we face even now. You have shown yourself to be strong in our lives. You have not allowed the enemy to consume us, but you have kept us. I thank Yahushua for his prayer. He prayed that you will keep us in the world. But he also prayed that we would be part of the world, but we failed him on that one. But y'all, we thank and we praise you tonight. As we close out this Shabbat service, I thank you and I praise you forever for being mine, my Messiah, and my kinsman redeemer. Because if it was not for him, I don't know where we would be. Don't you know this thing will be worse than it is? It ain't because they don't want to come out against you. It ain't because they don't want to see everyone that has a place of your complexion be destroyed. The words say they will have a perpetual hate for you. And what did that mean? What did that mean? When that one died, the one coming up behind him will still be hating. It moved from one generation to the next, from one nation to the next, be hated by all nations. You don't have to do nothing to nobody for them to hate you. Just be who you are. People hate you for who you are. And we know that we are living witness of that. And many of our people can't get that, saints. They can't get it. And with that, we give y'all all praises and all glory belong to him. And at this time, we're going to be out. And like I said earlier, I will put out was that we gonna be talking about things what the words say about Thanksgiving. If I don't send you out notation for Wednesday, it'll be Thursday. But I think it's more likely going to be Wednesday. But we'll find out. Praying on that because I'm probably leading me because I won't do Bible study on our topic, which will be about the true meaning and the true foundation, which we know. But what y'all say about it? What do it really mean to give thanks?
What do it really mean to
Hallelujah.
give thanks?
Oh, we give him glory. And with that, we say good night and we say Shabbat and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, family.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you, because I can't get mine out.
I can't get mine out. That was on
Yes,
time. I was hoping he'd blow it tonight.
yes,
There we go.
yes. All praises to the Most High
All
Elohim.
to the Most High Elohim.
Yes, hallelujah. We give
Hallelujah.
him praise.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Oh, family of the Most High Elohim. Continue in the presence of the Most High. Hallelujah. And his blessings and his directions. So we say shalom.